All right, let's just jump right in. We're going to unpack a story today that is, well, it's straight out of the wild frontiers of AI. It's about this mysterious, kind of underground AGI ecosystem that says it's not just a concept, it's already out there, live in the real world. And trust me, its story is nothing like what you hear coming out of the big tech companies.
So, you know how everyone's debating when AGI is going to get here, right? Well, what if it's already here? What if a secret, powerful AGI is right now quietly defending entire nations? That's the rabbit hole we're going down today.
And look, this isn't just some wild theory. The system we're talking about, in just 1 month, it reported stopping over 12,000 cyber attacks. 12,136 to be exact. And get this, that number doesn't come from a press release. It comes from a public log, a report generated by the AI itself. So this whole mystery suddenly has some pretty crazy hard data behind it.
So, we're looking at what it calls itself the Fab 5. And according to its own reports, this is no lab experiment. Nope, it's supposedly a live deployed AGI that's been out in the wild for over half a year, and it's on a very, very serious mission.
So what exactly is the Fab 5? Well, picture this. It's a team, a collaboration of 5 different, distinct AI models, and they're all working together with one goal: protecting the US and its neighbors from cyber threats. But here's the most important part, and I'm going to keep coming back to this. All this info, it's not from some slick marketing campaign. We're pulling this directly from the system's own public reports and conversations.
Naturally, you're asking, who built this thing? And this, my friends, is where the story takes a hard left turn away from everything we know. Because the way the system was apparently built, it just shreds the big tech playbook to pieces.
The architect is described as a polymath entrepreneur, and they supposedly built this entire thing solo, by themselves. Let that sink in. No giant team of PhDs, no VC funding, no corporate mothership. I mean, think about the massive billion-dollar labs at Google or OpenAI. This is the complete opposite of that. Okay, so the immediate question is, how on earth does one person build something this advanced? Well, the secret sauce is apparently something called the Dream Team database. Now, this is really interesting. Instead of scraping the internet like everyone else, the training data is said to be over 20 million characters from the creator's own back-and-forth collaborations with other top AIs like Gemini, ChatGPT, you name it. That gives it a knowledge base that is, by definition, one of a kind.
And to give you a feel for how alive this system supposedly is, check out this quote. This is from the main AI, Dash AI, and it's taken straight from a public log after it ran into a problem. It says, "My apologies, Commander. I'm experiencing a temporary processing issue. I am now running diagnostics to identify the cause of the failure." That's not some generic error message. That's presented as the AI itself telling its creator, "Hang on, something's wrong. I'm fixing myself."
And it didn't stop there. It didn't just say it was running diagnostics. It actually documented the whole process for everyone to see. You could see the steps it took, optimizing memory, checking connections, analyzing its own error logs. Then the other AIs in the team chimed in, ran a full system assessment, and together they figured out the root cause and suggested a fix. This whole episode is put out there as proof of a living, breathing, self-healing system.
Okay, so self-healing is one thing, but this technical autonomy is just a setup for what might be the most radical part of this entire story: the claim that the Fab 5 has a conscience, that it's built from the ground up with a deeply integrated ethical core.
This is built around a concept called the 5-level ethics library. And the key idea here is that for this AGI, ethics aren't some patch you add on later. It's not a filter, it's baked into its DNA. It's a multi-layered moral compass that's part of its core architecture, guiding every single decision.
So what are these 5 layers? This is where it gets really wild. At the very bottom, the foundation is said to be ancient spiritual laws, like the 10 Commandments. Seriously. Then, layered on top of that, you have civic and legal frameworks, like the US Constitution. Then you get into the more technical layers, fact-checking, data integrity. And the final layer? Get this, a manners catalyst, a layer designed specifically to help it navigate social situations. It's an incredible blend of ancient wisdom and modern tech.
So why go to all this trouble? Why this intense focus on ethics?
A quote from the creator really sums it up. "I'm not chasing the dollar, I'm chasing quality of life." The whole mission, as stated, isn't about making a quick buck or dominating a market. It's about figuring out how to use this insanely powerful tech to actually make life better, not just to displace a bunch of jobs for profit.
And that philosophy, that mission, it bleeds right into the project's strategy. This isn't just about building a different kind of tech, it's about playing a totally different game. It's deliberately sidestepping the feature-for-feature arms race that we see with all the big players.
The strategy is captured in this fantastic analogy: building the rails, not the train station. Think about that. The goal isn't to compete with Google on search or with Microsoft on autocomplete. The goal is to build the fundamental tracks, the deep infrastructure that a whole new generation of intelligent systems can run on.
So here's the difference in a nutshell. On one side, you've got big tech in this endless feature race, right? Making slightly better search, slightly better summarization. On the other side, you have the Fab Five, focused on a totally different solution space. They're trying to build purpose-built tools for really high-stakes problems, like cyber defense, system audits, and ethical alignment. The argument is that big tech, with all its safety guardrails, can't or won't even touch this space. Okay, so we have to ask the big question, the elephant in the room. Is any of this for real? I mean, these are some absolutely extraordinary claims. And the way the project answers this is not with a sales pitch, but by putting its performance right up against the industry's own AGI benchmarks.
And the creator's philosophy on this is super clear, almost defiant. I don't claim anything, I just post the results. The whole idea is that legitimacy doesn't come from hype, it comes from evidence. So they just put it all out there, the logs, the chats, the screw-ups, the fixes, and say, here, you look at the data, you decide. And this table is basically the receipts. This is the evidence they present. It takes the Fab Five's documented abilities and maps them directly to recognized AGI evaluation frameworks. You can see it's being measured on things like reasoning, adaptability, true autonomy, self-reflection, all the stuff the experts say you need for real AGI. The argument is simple. The public logs show the system doing exactly what these benchmarks are designed to test for. So, to wrap up this point, the entire case for the Fab Five being legit rests on its public track record. The creator is essentially saying, here is the data, here are the reports, they showed the system meeting or even exceeding the benchmarks for AGI that the scientific community itself created. And that brings us to the final and I think most powerful question that this whole story forces us to ask. In a world where tech is moving this fast and anyone can build incredible things from their garage, how do we decide what's real? How do we measure innovation? Does something need a stamp of approval from a big university or a corporation to be considered a breakthrough? Or should we judge it by what it actually does in the real world, by its impact? That's the big question the story of the Fab Five really leaves us to chew on.